Well, hello there. Happy Thursday evening. It is Thursday, September the 15th, 2022. We have Criterion Collection December 2022 titles. Really excited for a lot of reasons. There's a lot going on in not only with Criterion, but in the whole world of physical media. A whole lot of awesome releases coming out. This past Tuesday was epic. I mean, I'm seeing all the hauls from everybody picking up a ton of titles. I picked up a couple of titles and want to hear in the comment section what you are picking up or what you've picked up this week. But I'm really excited about this Criterion Collection announcement of December titles, and also recent news that came out last week that added one little title to the November slate for the Criterion Collection. Of course, you see here, this is the Wall-E screen. I have a copy of Wall-E right here on Blu-ray, and of course, we know that Wall-E is coming out on 4K Ultra HD to the Criterion Collection in November, the week of Thanksgiving. So that is very exciting news, and I'm definitely going to talk about that. But yeah, hope everybody's doing okay. Tonight, we've got several people in, on at the moment. We're going to take this to right under 8 o'clock. I have to go pick up my son who's doing a workout. We're also getting ready to, get on a plane tomorrow and head up to the NYC to spend a few days for fall break. But before doing that, I definitely wanted to come on here and talk with you all about Criterion Collection's December titles. So this is a packed month. I mean, well, not packed, but there's definitely a lot going on in this particular month, more than I initially thought when I first saw the announcement. And when I've learned that in looking at these announcements when they come out, a lot of times my reaction is a little bit mild. I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I'm interested in any of those. But then the more I read about each title and I make connections to other areas of cinema or other things that I've seen from, that director, I get more and more excited. And that's the vibe that I'm getting from this release slate in the month of December. So we've got 4 titles coming out in the month of December 2022 from Criterion, 4 new spine numbers. We have a new director, filmmaker coming into the collection, and we're getting 2 very fascinating collector sets. And we basically have representation from the United States and Europe, with the United States, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, and Sweden. These are all Blu-ray releases, so no new 4K Ultra HD titles. So nothing new on that front. And I was wondering if we were going to get some new news on the whole Disney Pixar thing. Would we get another Disney Pixar title? Doesn't appear to be the case so far in December, but we shall see. I'm definitely looking forward to more news on that front. So we'll definitely talk about that. But hope everybody's doing okay. Let's take a quick pop into the comment section. Again, thank you for joining tonight. We're going to take this to right under an hour. So we'll be out of here at 8 p.m. By 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So see, Ian, how are you doing? I feel like the Velvet Underground should have had a 4K Blu-ray since it came on Apple Plus in 4K stream with Dolby Vision. Okay. Yeah, I'm reading up on all of these releases, and that Velvet Underground is one that has definitely caught my attention. I love documentaries. I love music documentaries in particular. And that one looks like a very fascinating one from director Todd Haynes. Hey there, Adrian. Of course, hello to myself, and hello to myself again, saying hi to Ian and Adrian. Hello, Dennis. How are you doing? I'm a little let down, no 4K, but they still are cool releases. I would agree. I was disappointed, too. I'm always looking for new 4K titles, but I am excited that we're getting 4 new spine numbers in the collection, getting a new filmmaker in the collection. So that's always exciting. Well, hello there, Dennis, of course. And waiting for that, here we go. All right. We have Mr. Huck in the house. Hey, John and Dennis, how are you doing, Huck? I still need to do your A to Z challenge. I need to do that. I need to take care of that. Dennis saying hey to Huck. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Jordan saying hey there. everybody. We have Mika in the house. Hello, Mika. How are you doing? An internet user. I wasn't expecting that Haneke trilogy at all. I was not either. This is one of those months that this is going to be a month of discovery for me because I have not seen any of these titles. So I'm excited from that standpoint. The more I read up and learn each of these titles, I'm really getting more and more excited about these titles. So I'm looking forward to it. Criterion for the win. Hello. Dennis saying hello to Mika. Haneke looks good. And yes, a real surprise. So we've got Mika saying hi to Dennis. Hope Criterion does Snow White original classic. That is an excellent segue. So before I get into, I'm going to share my screen and let's get into this. Let's go ahead and jump right into this because my time and our time is limited. So we need to make the most of it. Let us seize the day, seize the moment. You'll also be seeing my screen now. This is December titles announced. That's what we always like to see. Love that. But let's scroll down for a minute to recognize a couple of things. Of course, yes, the other day we got news on this titan of cinema, Jean-Luc Godard, passing away at the age of 91, a titan of cinema. And there on the Criterion channel, there's a 21 film tribute to Jean-Luc Godard. And that's interesting because I think it said 9 films earlier. Now it's 21 film tribute. So titan of cinema, I definitely recommend checking out his filmography. Just amazing films. And I have a couple of reviews of some of Jean-Luc Godard's titles on the channel, including Masculine Feminine and Pierre Le Fou. So definitely check those out. But yes, Jean-Luc Godard. Takeout is an interesting title that I'll be talking about in the coming days from Sean Baker and Xing Ching So. So that's Takeout. And of course, it keeps skipping on me. WALL-E. This is the Disney Pixar title that is coming out on November 22nd to the Criterion Collection, so the week of Thanksgiving. This is the news that broke last week, and this is what I want to hear your thoughts on this particular event, because this is really exciting news. And I'll just give you my take and my perspective on it, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. For me, I am more excited about what this could potentially mean for other Disney or Pixar titles. And what this does for me is it really opens up a lot of questions in my mind in terms of, well, what does this mean? Does this open up, the entire Disney catalog to Criterion, or is this just a Pixar deal? Are we just going to get Pixar animation titles? What is the extent of this deal? Could we potentially see, the broader Disney catalog in Criterion, like Snow White, or maybe the Fox movies, or Star Wars, or perhaps even an MCU film? Could that potentially happen? All of those films are under the Disney umbrella. What does this deal really mean? I am excited about WALL-E. I definitely plan to pick up this 4K release, and I imagine a lot of people are really excited about it. But as I think about it, I think to myself, similar thoughts that other people have had in terms of what potential titles would you like to see come into the collection from Disney if you could have your wish list. So I'll quickly share my wish right now. So of course, this is WALL-E that's coming. So that's exciting. We know that that's coming. But if other Pixar titles, if this only included Pixar titles, then I would be happy to see this wonderful film come to the collection, Up. This is an amazing film that I would love to see come to Criterion. It has Criterion just all over it. It would be a wonderful, wonderful Pixar film to bring to the Criterion Collection. Wonderful, heartwarming story. So I would love to see Up. And then if other Disney titles are a part of this, these are some of the ones that I wouldn't mind seeing come, like Mary Poppins. How about Pinocchio? How about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? This is a DVD Blu-ray, so it's in a DVD case, but it's a DVD and Blu-ray. Perhaps The Lion King. Who would love to see Peter Pan in the Criterion Collection? That would be fun. And then as I think about Star Wars and the MCU, I wouldn't want like all the Star Wars films to come out to the collection. But as I think about the Criterion Collection's motto is a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films. So as I think about that, this film comes to mind, the first Star Wars film. What if they released this, this film in particular, not the other films, but just this film in particular, and released it not as A New Hope, but just as Star Wars, as it originally released before it was renamed, and maybe even the original theatrical version as an option. I'm really stretching now. And then as far as MCU films, this is the one film that I think fits that important contemporary film's mission. This particular film right here. And the reason why I bring this film up is because if it wasn't for this film, if this film had not been successful, if this film had a flopped, then we wouldn't have these other films here. We wouldn't have the Captain America movie. We wouldn't have the Thor movie. We would never have gotten to the Avengers. And we never would have seen these two amazing films right here. I think the entire MCU kind of, rose upon the success of that original Iron Man movie from 2008 and Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Tony Stark, really getting people to buy into that character, to buy into the universe, and really propelled the MCU further. So as I think about important classic and contemporary films, I think the original Star Wars movie and Iron Man would be great potential additions if those films could potentially be part of this arrangement. But who knows? We'll learn more. Maybe it's just Pixar films. We shall see. But would love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments section. Without any further ado, though, let's jump right into these December titles. So we see here coming soon. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming soon, folks. At the end of this month, we're getting Sound of Metal on 4K. We're getting Night of the Living Dead early October on 4K. Lost Highways coming on 4K. October is just filled with exciting titles. This is one I'm really looking forward to, this Arsenic and Old Lace with Cary Grant, Cure, La Llorona, Eve's Bayou, Daisies. I'm excited about all these titles. The only one that I may pass on is the 4K of In the Mood for Love. I may wait on that. I have the Wong Kar-wai set. Of course, Power of the Dog is coming in November. This Infernal Affairs trilogy. Wall-E, we now know is coming the week of Thanksgiving, along with Malcolm X on 4K. And now we get to the December titles. These are the 4 titles coming out in December. So we have 1 title coming out Tuesday, December the 6th, and we have 3 titles coming out on Tuesday, December the 13th. So let's go ahead and jump right into this first one here. So this is the first title coming out for the month of December. It is Michael Haneke Trilogy. So these are 3 films that I have never seen. One is The Seventh Continent from 1989. And these are all under Spine 1163. The second is Benny's Video from 1992. And the third is 71 Fragments of a Chronology of Chance from 1994. These are coming out in a collector's set on Blu-ray, 3 discs. MSRP is $79.95. So these are coming in December the 6th. And it looks to be a really interesting set. Again, I don't know hardly anything about these films. I'm looking forward to sort of reading more about them. But of course, this is the same director who directed this film starring Juliette Binoche called Code Unknown, Spine number 780 in the Criterion Collection. It's been a good while since I've seen this film from the year 2000, but this is a good film from Michael Haneke, the same director as the director of this trilogy here. So it says, One of contemporary cinema's most original, provocative, and uncompromising filmmakers, Austrian auteur Michael Haneke dares viewers to stare into the void of modern existence. With his first three theatrical features, The Seventh Continent, Benny's Video, and 71 Fragments of a Chronology of Chance, a trilogy depicting a coldly bureaucratic society in which genuine human relationships have been supplanted by a deep seated collective malaise, Haneke established the rigorous visual style and unsettling themes that would recur through his work. So, exploring the relationships among consumerism, violence, mass media, and contemporary alienation, these brilliant, relentlessly probing films open up profound questions about the world in which we live while refusing the false comfort of easy answers. So, very interesting description. Again, I'm still going through these titles here. This announcement came down around noon, so I was working at the time. So, still getting caught up on this news, but very excited about potentially taking a look at this collector set. So, this is coming in at spine number 1163. It's three films from Michael Haneke from 1989 to 1994. So, let me know in the comments section if you're familiar with these films, if you've seen them, and what you think about Michael Haneke as a filmmaker. So I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to go over here and take a look at these comments here and see what you all have to say. What do y'all think? How do y'all feel? Well, how do y'all feel about this month's releases? For me, again, my initial reaction was, okay, let me see what these titles entail. There was nothing that just jumped off the page at me. So these titles are growing on me. So Huck saying, hey to Mika, can't wait to see your horror actor challenge. Okay. And that's right. You've put out there another challenge as well, Huck. I got to take a look at that. Strange Finger, hey, what a beautiful day after a long heat wave. Glad to see you. It's good to see you as well. Good to see you too. You in LA, Professor. Okay. Wally. Oh, he's in Denver. Okay. Yes. I love New York. That song, I love New York. That's me. I love New York. Love Manhattan. One of the best places in the world. That sounds fun. Safe journey to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mika saying, hey to Huck. The Velvet Underground is one of my favorite bands, and I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that too. Like I said, I love music documentaries, so I am absolutely excited about that title. So excited, James, for Cooley High. Yes, I am too. I am as well. Snow White one day, hopefully. I would agree. There's so many possibilities with that deal, because again, the question in my mind, the question in my mind is how extensive is the deal? Is it just a Pixar deal? Is it just Pixar animation? I did see something. I think a tweet or something from for Criterion saying that they're excited about this deal with Pixar. So is it just Pixar or is it the broader Disney library? I'm hoping that it's the broader Disney library. That would make me very excited, as well as a lot of other people will be very excited. The Disney announcement opens the door to so many titles, hopefully. Yeah, I'm with you, Mika. I am very hopeful for some great possibilities there. Is anyone going to see Moonage Daydream? I am amped about it. I have not heard of that film. Moonage Daydream? I've not heard that title. A lot of films I'm not familiar with, which is what I like. Yes. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat, Ethan. And I've said this many times on this channel that one of the things I love about Criterion is blind buy. So I have not seen any of these films. I have seen other films from some of these filmmakers, and I'm excited about the connections and the connecting points. One of the directors, Mai Zetterling, has done other things that I've seen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she is bringing with these three films that's coming in this collector's set. So that's exciting to me. Jump for my love. Okay. I definitely want to see more of Jean-Luc Godard's filmography. I do too. I do as well. There's a lot of his films I have not seen. I have not seen Alphaville, A Woman is a Woman, Contempt. There's a lot of his films I want to see. A lot of his work. There's differing opinions on it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people walk away wondering, what did I just watch? Godard is definitely one that you have to sort of chew on. But I love most of the films that I've seen of his. I mean, Masculine, Feminine, Pierre Le Fou, Band of Outsiders, just all, Breathless, all amazing films. Probably the only one of his that I saw that I didn't, and I probably need to rewatch it, but I didn't care for it as much was Weekend. That one didn't really grab me, but I'll definitely give it a rewatch and see if I like it more on a second watch. I was glad that it was Wally because it's one of the few Pixar films I don't already own on Blu-ray, just a DVD. That'll be a nice upgrade for you, especially with that Dolby Vision. That should be a super upgrade, Ethan. So you're probably in for a nice treat in November. This opens up The Rock and Armageddon, which for Criterion DVDs. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Anything is possible. I mean, we shall see. I mean, think about it. A week ago or 10 days ago, who of us would have thought Wally would be coming to Criterion Collection? So, it's a world of possibilities now. I thought Wally is fine, not the biggest fan of it. Okay, that's fair. Up. Yes, yes, I'm with you. Up would be perfect. Up would be perfect. Maybe even the first Toy Story, maybe, but Up would be just fantastic. Yes, all the Disney classic animation. Two titles I'm interested in are The Straight Story from David Lynch and The Insider from Michael Mann. Okay. Those are all great possibilities. Oh, thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Wow. Let's see. Yes, an internet user. Straight Story by David Lynch is amazing. I have not seen that one. Chris Alders, yes. Greetings to you as well, Chris. Greetings to me and other fellow film enthusiasts from Edmonton. Hope everything is well in Edmonton, Chris. Thank you for joining. Iron Man was the foundation. I agree. A lot of people scoff at the idea. MCU films in the Criterion Collection. Are you kidding me? I only mean that particular film. I think that film in particular, more than any of the other MCU films, because the way I see it, what if Iron Man, when it came out in 2008, what if it had flopped? What if that film had failed? What if Robert Downey Jr. just phoned it in and didn't deliver in his portrayal of Tony Stark, and people didn't buy into it and people didn't like it and people hated that movie? Imagine what would have happened. We wouldn't have the MCU as we know it. I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the fifth episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law on Disney Plus this morning because there wouldn't be no MCUs on Disney Plus. There would be no Avengers Endgame. There would be none of what came after Iron Man if that first Iron Man movie hadn't been successful. It literally launched a multi-billion-dollar franchise. So much so that, can I think of a film in the last 15 years that's come out that has had as much impact and is as consequential as that film? I really can't think of one. So that's the reason why I would, if it were me, that's the one MCU film I would put in the collection. We need Blade with Wesley Snipes too. Mika would love to see so many Disney titles like The Parent Trap, Ratatouille, or Cinderella. Cinderella's another one. Ratatouille is a great one as well. Yeah, Parent Trap. October releases are just amazing. I'm grabbing them all. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I am excited about all those releases. I mean, Cure, Arsenic and Old Lace, Night in the Living Dead 4K, La Llorona. I mean, they're all definitely exciting to me. So I'm looking forward to it. Malcolm X will be top 4 of the year. Could be. I mean, it's definitely a stacked release. So I'm excited about that one. And happy about Wally because what it means for the Fox catalog. Let's see. Oh, don't want to see an overload of Disney titles all the time and take place of other titles that are more deserving of restoration. Yeah. And I have a feeling that, again, it comes down to, on the back of every Criterion case, it comes down to that statement, that very simple statement: the Criterion Collection, a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films. So that's really what it boils down to is, does it fit that category of important classic and contemporary films? And that's why I mentioned the first Star Wars movie, right? Versus, obviously I wouldn't put The Force Awakens. I certainly wouldn't put Rise of Skywalker in there. I still haven't even bought Rise of Skywalker and have no plans of buying it. But that first Star Wars movie, I mean, that's a monumental film. So I think they'll be very selective about the titles that they bring into the collection, is what I'm saying. Happy about Wall-E because of what it means to the Fox catalog. I just don't. Oh yeah, I just read that. I have been planning to watch the trilogy in October. Should be interesting. Jordan, I wish the cover for the Haneke set was a little bit better, though I am stoked for the set itself. Great. I wonder what we're getting in the UK for December. We shall see. Velvet Underground's Apple TV, right? Yeah. Someone else had mentioned it. I believe Ian had mentioned it as well, as Apple TV. If Apple TV titles are open for Criterions, please give me a CBA CHS real smooth on 4K. Okay. Cha-cha. James, I think you really love the Velvet Underground dock. It's structured unlike any other dock I've seen. It's done with a split screen and the talking heads on one side and live performances on the other. Okay. That sounds great. And that kind of reminds me of another title. Of course, this wasn't split screen, but this is The Last Waltz, folks. This title right here, folks, one of the best titles of the year so far from the Criterion Collection. If you like, music films, this is so good. It's in 4K. It looks beautiful. Looks wonderful. It's got Dolby Vision HDR. It's got a 5.1 surround soundtrack, HDR. DTS HD master audio soundtrack, and it sounds so good. This is technically a great disc, and this is just fantastic. It's the band, late 1970s, one of their last performances. Martin Scorsese captures it, and it's cinematic. It's beautiful. One of the best concerts you'll ever see on a disc, The Last Waltz. So that's why I'm excited about Velvet Underground, another sort of music documentary. I like those types of films, so I'm looking forward to Velvet Underground for that reason. I just wanted to stop in and say, hey, hello, Magnitude Rep. Though I don't have anything to say about any of these titles, I've never heard of them at all. I'm in a similar boat. So these are discoveries for me. I love the UK to get Breakfast Club and the Three Colors trilogy. Okay, fingers crossed that that will happen soon. And Bowling for Columbine, don't think it was amazing. It was okay, but it's the only film from my film course I don't own the Blu-ray. Okay. All right. Real Smooth is Dan Cha-Cha. Real Smooth is excellent. I'd love to see a physical release of Coda, which somehow, despite winning Best Picture, has not had a physical release. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Hopefully it will soon. Weekend is one of my favorites just for the experience. It provided a doozy of a film, Jordan says. Okay. Godard, early period, and some of his later films are great, but his middle period can be difficult. He was so experimental and political. Yeah, true. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Criterion trilogy. Okay. Magnitude Rev Coda has a 4K in Spain or Italy. One of the two. Not the USA, though. Okay. All right. So let me stop here. And let me go back to share my screen, and we will go through the other three titles, get your comments on whatever you want to talk about in terms of Wall-E, other potential films with this Disney that you would like to see, and what you think about these titles. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do a screen share, and let us go and check out these other titles that are coming out on December the 13th. So this is an exciting month, very exciting month. So let us go back out here. So the Michael Haneke trilogy is coming out on December 6th. And then we got three titles coming out on December 13th, Tuesday, December 13th. Now, the first one is this three films by Mai Zetterling. And this is very fascinating because this is one of those connecting points that I mentioned in terms of, first of all, who is Mai Zetterling? And, Mai Zetterling was a Swedish actress who became a director, and she actually directed a part of This film that I love and also recommend in the Criterion Collection is called Visions of Eight. So this is one of those Olympic series. This is a film that's in the Criterion Collection Olympics box set, but this is the single edition release. It's on spine 1081 in the Criterion Collection, and it is an amazing release from Criterion. I love Visions of Eight. It is so, so good. It's called Visions of Eight because this is the 1972 Munich Games. And what they did is they hired 8 directors to shoot a part of the Olympic Games. And they told them, put your own artistic vision and spin on a particular aspect of the games. And so you have 8 directors here. Osman Sembin was supposed to be one of the directors, so it was going to be Visions of 9, but ultimately they didn't use his piece of it. So they have these 8 directors. One of those directors is Mai Zetterling, who directed The Strongest, one of the features here on Visions of 8. In this case, these are 3 films by Mai Zetterling that's coming out on the Criterion Collection in a collector's set. So you have 3 films: Loving Couples from 1964, Night Games from 1966, and The Girls from 1968. And this is a 3-disc set on Blu-ray coming December 13th, $79.95 MSRP. And these are the 3 films. So you have The Girls, Loving Couples, and Night Games, 3 films by Mai Zetterling. So very exciting. I've seen the trailers for these 3 films, and they look really, really interesting. I mean, they all look very fascinating. I'm very intrigued to, dive into these stories and really hear more about this director. It says here, a fearlessly transgressive, long overlooked pioneer of feminist cinema, Swedish actor turned director Mai Zetterling ruffled the feathers of the patriarchal establishment with a string of bracingly modern, sexually frank, and politically incendiary films focused on female agency in the turbulent state of 20th century Europe. So these films sound very, very interesting. So let's go to Night Games, for example. So on the Criterion site, you can see, a trailer for each of these films. I definitely recommend checking them out. These are films from Sweden, from this Swedish director. And very interestingly enough, several of the actresses that appear in the films from Mai Zetterling in this 3-film set are actresses that have appeared in Ingmar Bergman's cinema and his films. So there's some crossover there. So let's take a look at this trailer here of, what we have in store for us for a film like Night Games, one of the films from Mai Zetterling in this set. These are all going to be blind buys for me. I've never seen these films, but 90% of the time, like I said before on this channel, 90% of the time when I see a blind buy from Criterion, I've really been very happy with it. I've learned something new about a filmmaker I didn't know much about, or I get exposure to an area of cinema from around the world. And it's just a new experience in film. And usually I'm very happy with it. A small percentage of the time, I'm not very happy with what I've seen, but 90% of the time, I'm very pleased with these discoveries. And this is one that I'm very much looking forward to. 3 films by Mai Zetterling. Now, the next one that's also coming out on December the 13th, Tuesday, December 13th, is a film from director Todd Haynes, and it is Velvet Underground. Now, this is the same director. He is also in the Criterion Collection already. He has a film called Safe, is spine number 739. And this film stars Julianne Moore. And this is another nice addition in Criterion. Look at that interior. Don't you dig that? I love that interior. Beautiful. But this is spine 739 from the Criterion Collection. Of course, in this case, this is a very different film. This is The Velvet Underground from 2021. It's coming in at spine number 1164 in the collection. It's going to be available on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's coming Tuesday, December the 13th. So this is a very interesting looking cover. Has that sort of backwards or that flipped look to it. It's the Velvet Underground group, and it looks like it's footage from the 1960s of this band and performances from the 1960s, I guess. But it's showing performances of this band, and we're going to get interviews, and it looks to be a fascinating documentary that I am very excited about. I am definitely looking forward to picking up this title in December. So it says, emerging from the primordial soup of glamour, gutter sleaze, and feverish creativity that was New York's 1960s underground culture, the Velvet Underground redefined music with its at once raw and exalted blend of experimentation and art damaged rock and roll. In its kaleidoscopic documentary, The Velvet Underground, Todd Haynes vividly evokes the band's incandescent world, the creative origins of the twin visionaries Lou Reed and John Cale, Andy Warhol's fabled factory, and the explosive tension between pop and the avant-garde that propelled the group and ultimately consumed it. So we have never before seen performances, interviews, rare recordings, and mind-blowing transmissions from the era's avant-garde cinema scene come together in an ecstatic swirl of sound and image that is to traditional music documentary what the Velvets were to rock, utterly revolutionary. So this sounds absolutely phenomenal. And check out these edition special features. So we're getting a new 4K digital master approved by the director. And this is important. So 4K digital master on this Blu-ray. And we're also getting a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So if you have Dolby Atmos, they're taking care of you here with a nice Dolby Atmos soundtrack. I do not have Dolby Atmos, so I will be benefiting from, I suppose, 7.1 surround sound. Audio commentary featuring Haynes and the editors. So that's exciting. We're going to get outtakes, a conversation from 2021 among Haynes, Cale, and Tucker, and then some other films that are part of it from 1965, a teaser, and then an essay. So there's also an optional annotated subtitle track that identifies the avant-garde films seen in the movie. So that's a neat feature as well. But there are some pretty nice features in here, including an audio commentary, which I think is great. We're getting Dolby Vision sound on here, which is a fantastic piece of this release. New 4K digital master. So this looks to be a very, very nice release that's coming out from Criterion. So that's just a little taste of the Velvet Underground from the Criterion site. So definitely check that out. But yeah, some nice features on here, and it looks to be a nice disc technically. I just wish that this one was coming out on 4K Ultra HD. I wish it was getting the 4K treatment, but we are getting a 4K digital master on this Blu-ray, getting a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So technically it should be a very, very nice disc. Let us know in the comment section what you think about the Velvet Underground. So that's the second title coming out on Tuesday, December the 13th. And then the final title coming out in the month of December, the third title coming out on the 13th of December is this title here that is very, very fascinating. It's called Cooley High. It is from director Michael Schultz. So this is the new director in the collection. So this is Michael Schultz's first feature in the collection, and it's getting a Blu-ray release coming December the 13th. And it's got it's not a packed edition, but some interesting features coming in at spine number 1165 in the Criterion Collection. And we're getting a restored 4K digital transfer, getting a new conversation between Schultz and film scholar Raquel Gates. So she does great commentaries. I've seen her on other features from Criterion releases. She does an amazing job. There's a program on the making of the film, and there's an interesting panel discussion from 2019. So definitely look forward to going through those features. But this is a film I have not seen before, but I'm definitely intrigued to check this out. This apparently is Chicago 1964. This is a film from 1975. So the story takes place a decade earlier in 1964 in Chicago, and is dealing with high school students in Chicago and, involved in extracurricular activities, swing dancing. And then there's apparently a tragedy that is involved. So I have not seen this film. I'm looking forward to seeing it. This is from director Michael Schultz. who has directed other interesting films that I will do a quick screen share here to go to IMDb because I find this very interesting. So let me indulge me for a second while I go to IMDb here, and we will take a look at IMDb. This is anyone checking out The Woman King in theaters. Of course, this is Viola Davis, but I have not seen that yet. But let me know if you've seen that and what you think about it. But this is Cooley High. This is a 1975 film from Michael Schultz. This is the director here. And of course, he's in his 80s. Guess he's about to turn 84 this year. And he is the director of several interesting films. Of course, Cooley High. Check out this film here, Car Wash. This is George Carlin. This has Richard Pryor in it. This is an old classic film from the 70s called Car Wash. So it has that famous song, Car Wash. Michael Schultz directed this film. And he also directed a film called Crush Groove, which is an interesting film from the mid 80s. So you have Sheila E. in here and Run DMC and several others. So this is Michael Schultz. This is the director of Cooley High. He also directed The Last Dragon from 1985, which has several interesting people in it, including Vanity, of course. So those are some other films from this director, Michael Schultz, and this is his first film in the Criterion Collection, and it's called Cooley High. So I think that's interesting. Hope you do as well. So let's see here. La La Land or Whiplash for Criterion. What would you pick? Wow, that's a great one. La La Land or Whiplash. That's a tough one. If I had to pick one, I would say Whiplash. I love that film. I love La La Land too. La La Land is my favorite of the two, but Whiplash would deserve it more. Yeah, I agree. I would significantly prefer a Whiplash release. Yeah. The performances are just so good. I mean, just so awesome. Wish we got a commentary on Cooley High, though. Happy to see it come to the collection. Yeah, I agree. The Last Waltz, I've heard great things. I'll add to the watch list. Yes, it's really good, Mika. I highly recommend it. It's one of my top 7 favorite releases of the year so far. It is outstanding. If you like good concert films, definitely check that one out. Is Velvet Underground at all related to his Velvet Goldmine? Never saw it, so don't know. I'm not sure either. I am not sure. Yep. Getting some love for The Last Waltz. I want to get the 4K of A Hard Day's Night because my granddad is a huge Beatles fan. I want to watch it in 4K Dolby Vision with him. Okay, cool. I'm excited for Cooley High the more I read about it. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. Phineas and Ferb, the movie for Criterion. Okay. Hey, you know what? You never know, right? A concert doc that I'm shocked that hasn't gotten a Criterion is Summer of Soul. Summer of Soul, which has a big focus on Black music culture in 1969. So, yeah, that's another thing I will say that, Criterion continues to bring more filmmakers in the tent, more filmmakers of color, more women filmmakers. Of course, Mai Zetterling. I love that they're, just bringing more people into the tent. So just a beautiful thing, bringing more cinematic voices to the table. It also won Best Documentary at the Oscars. Okay. Summer of Soul. Olympia is my favorite film from the Olympic box set. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten a standalone release. Yeah, I think so far, the only ones that have gotten standalone releases are Tokyo Olympiad and Visions of 8, both of which are supremely excellent films. I recommend both of those films. They're just amazing. Let's see. Agree, Ethan. Yep. James, do you have any Blu-rays from the BFI range? Stands for British Film Institute. I do not. That is a opportunity for me to dive more into that area. I don't have any of those. That trailer looked Fellini-esque. Yeah, which one are you referring to, Dennis? Let's see. Speaking of Haynes and music, it'd be great if Velvet Goldmine got a release. Okay. Hello, James. Hello, Sean. Is Goldmine related to Underground? Same director. Let's see. Oh, I think Dennis might have been referring to the Mai Zetterling trailer for the Night Games one. See, fingers crossed, more Apple Plus TV Plus movies can come to Criterion after the announcement of Velvet Underground. Fingers crossed, you never know. Todd Haynes made Far From Heaven with Julianne Moore, which is a remake of All That Heaven Allows, but with interracial issues replacing age. Okay. They're not related. Okay. Confirmation there. Velvet Underground was one of my favorite bands. Surprised and eager for this release. Hope Criterion releases Haynes' Velvet Goldmine at some point. Well, you never know. I have not seen Velvet Goldmine, but that would be another great discovery. The sound in the Velvet Underground doc is incredible. The way the songs pop out of the speaker are unreal. Wish I would have gone to see it at my local art house theater when they were playing it. Well, awesome. Yeah, if you have a Dolby Atmos setup, Criterion is taking care of you with that Velvet Underground release because they're doing Dolby Atmos. So that's going to be nice. Far From Heaven has that Douglas Sirk style. Okay. Saw Cooley High 2 days ago and thought it was good. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to checking it out on that new Criterion disc. Love the Cooley High cover a ton. Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like it as well. I like it as well. But had to decline that call. Let's see here. Stoked for the Woman King. Just saw George Miller's new film, 3,000 Years. Okay, thought it was beautiful. Cool. And I know Viola Davis killed it in that movie. I haven't seen it, but I know she killed it. I know she just absolutely killed it. 3,000 Years is terrific, Jordan. I loved it. Okay. Yeah, the Cooley High special features are kind of bare. I'm surprised. There are only a few features, but they all look to be really, really good. So it's one of those things where it's probably a matter of quality over quantity. So, all those features, including the Gates feature, is probably going to be very, very good. So, Velvet Goldmine incorporates element of the Bowie Reed working relationship in the narrative. Okay. Iggy Pop's relationship with both of them. All right. Y'all think since Fox catalog might be open that Criterion will take another crack at the Heat 4K after all the controversy? I'm not sure. We shall see. I was okay with the new Heat release. It is on the dark side of things. Well, not dark side. It's sort of on the darker end of things with that Dolby Vision with the new 4K transfer, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful picture. And overall, it's the superior image over the previous Blu-ray. It's just not like a huge jump in quality over that older Blu-ray, but it is a very nice 4K disc. Heat 4K done right by Criterion is a must. You never know. You never know. Love that Cooley High cover art as well. The only title I've seen in the collection. Okay. Of titles for December. Okay. Cooley High has a great soundtrack, classic Motown songs. Yes, that's right. So it's classic Motown songs on there. That is definitely part of this release. A really nice set of Motown songs that I'm looking forward to hearing. I don't even know which songs are on that soundtrack, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. Funny, I was just thinking yesterday, what if Criterion redid Heat? Yeah, you never know. I mean, we are in a world of possibilities. So who knows what will come next from the Criterion Collection? But that is the slate of titles that's coming out in the month of December. So we're getting a couple of new collector sets with that Michael Haneke trilogy. These are 3 films from 1989 and 1994. Spine 1163, that's coming out on December the 6th. And then on December 13th, we're getting the Mai Zetterling set, 3 films by Mai Zetterling. These are 3 films from the mid-1960s, 1964 to 1968. That is spine number 1162. Again, Mai Zetterling is one of the contributing directors to Visions of 8. She was an actress turned director from Sweden. So very much looking forward to that set. Then one of the most exciting titles coming out in December is this Velvet Underground, this music documentary from Todd Haynes. He's the same director of Safe in the Criterion Collection, starring Julianne Moore. This is a music documentary from 2021 of the Velvet Underground. So very excited about that. Spy number 1164. It's coming in with a nice 4K digital master and that Dolby Atmos sound. Got an audio commentary on that. And then Cooley High, also coming out on Blu-ray from Michael Schultz, a new director in the collection. Spy number 1165. Let me hit these last few comments, and then I am going to go pick up my son. We got to finish packing and get ready to get on a plane tomorrow. See here. Cooley has great soundtrack, classic Motown songs. Funny. Yep. Okay. I'm sold on Cooley High. I am as well. Murnau is by far the greatest director not in the collection. Sunrise 4K will be amazing. Well, you never know. We're in a world of possibilities, and who knows what will come next. But those are the titles coming out in December. We know that Wall-E is also coming out Thanksgiving week. That's a nice surprise that came down last week as part of a new deal with Disney or Pixar. So more news to come on that. But let me know in the comments section below what you think about these titles coming out in December, and looking forward to just hearing your thoughts about more of these Criterion Collection releases coming out later this month with Sound of Metal, the October slate, the November slate. A lot of great things coming out in the world of Criterion and the broader world of physical media. Here's what I picked up this week. So I know you all have picked up some exciting things, but I'm about to head out. Hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday night. If you're enjoying the game tonight, should be an interesting one between Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers. So that should be interesting. But have a great rest of your Thursday night. Have a fantastic Friday and weekend coming up. And we'll look to see you next time at the movies. Peace. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining.